The Democrats are destroying themselves by blocking the coronavirus stimulus. That's what we'll be talking about on today's video. We're going to take a look at the Democratic bill that they're proposing and the insane cultural Marxism they're blackmailing businesses with, and see why it's all blowing up in their faces. Could very well cost them control of the House in November. You're going to absolutely love it. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you, as always. A super happy Quarantine Tuesday to each and every one of you. I certainly hope you're all safe and sound. A warm welcome to all of our first-time viewers. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events and some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So you know what to do if you haven't already done it, right? Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel. I think you're going to love this online community where we each and every day get to celebrate the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Now, before we get into the Democrats' political suicide, make sure to download your free gift, which we put together just for you. We're calling it our Fake News Antidote. It is a compilation of over 20 sites that I go to for my news each and every day. And you can download it completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section. I think you're going to really enjoy that resource. And finally, let me ask you, why do you invest? Is it mainly for financial reasons? What if you had a different perspective? Maybe one that included making a positive impact on America. Well, our sponsor, American Values Investments, specializes in helping patriotic Americans invest in companies that best reflect timeless American values. Values like integrity, caring, and courage. Even during economic downturns, which may include, of course, a decline in their stock price, these companies, with the help of their shareholders, are still having a positive impact on our country. Now, there's risk in the stock market, and this ad does not constitute an endorsement. But if you want to learn more about how your investments can help America, well, then check them out at AmericanValues.com or click on the link below and tell them Dr. Steve sent you. You'd be glad that you did. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. I mean, I don't even know what to say. After weeks of bipartisan discussions, the Democrats in Congress have decided to twice now sink a massive stimulus bill that would have provided cash payments to the overwhelming majority of the nation and small businesses. It's right as businesses close up across the country and workers struggle to pay their bills as their paychecks are held hostage by this global pandemic. The Democrats have decided that they would rather play politics and not allow such an opportunistic crisis to go to waste, okay? Instead of the bipartisan bill on the Senate floor, Nancy the Ripper Pelosi has introduced her own bill. A bill that really, when all is said and done, is nothing short of the epitome of political evil. I think Tucker Carlson said it best. The Democrats are putting wokeness above all with this pathetic bill. When you read it, you'll find that the bill is littered with disgusting little interest group handouts added by Democratic lobbyists. And to make matters even worse, it's filled with the bigotry of identity politics. In fact, the Democrats' bill is over 1,400 pages long. You heard that right. What's supposed to be a temporary stimulus bill is over 1,400 pages long, and that's because the Democrats have crammed it with a bunch of cultural Marxist nonsense. You ready for this? This bill would require every corporation that receives coronavirus aid to have, get this, to have officers and a budget dedicated to diversity and inclusion initiatives, whatever the hell that means. They would need officers and a budget dedicated to diversity and inclusion initiatives. And get this, they would have to have that for a minimum of 5 years after they get the money. What does that, how this has anything to do with a coronavirus stimulus is beyond human reasoning. It gets worse. Companies would also have to produce elaborate racial reports for the government, listing the skin color and the sex of their officers and board of directors. They have to prove that they give enough money to firms owned by women and non-whites. And of course, how much they spend on diversity initiatives. Again, as Tucker Carlson notes, what does this have to do with a pandemic that might kill you? And the answer is obvious. Nothing. Not one thing. It's just more ugly race politics, the kind Democrats specialize in. You may not have been aware of this, but the Democratic bill is putting a priority on protecting foreign nationals working here in the United States. Democrats want to automatically renew work permits for immigrants as a result of this bill. That's right, you heard that. This bill, an economic stimulus bill. The bill also makes it clear that we need to hire experts in tackling this epidemic. Sounds good, right? But the bill orders that those applicants be employed on the basis of their race and disability status. Oh, and also, companies that receive any stimulus money must commit to offsetting their freaking carbon emissions. I mean, the whole thing defies belief. It's nothing short of left-wing blackmail. You will get your money. You will keep your business, but only if you bend your knee to our cult of liberalism, our left-wing Scientology. And of course, as anyone with half a brain could have told you, it's all backfiring big time on the Democrats. You see, the Democrats thought they could do this because they have their willing accomplices in the cultural Marxist media, the mainstream media, who will do anything and everything to shill for all things left-wing globalists. Just look at the New York Times. But alas, it seems that even the most left-wing of Republicans, like Senators Collins and McCain and Mitt Romney of Utah, have some semblance of a soul. They've called out the Democrats for playing petty partisan politics, seeking to exploit this crisis for their own political gain. Even the New York Times and the Washington Post have excoriated the Democrats in this, though they've had to adjust their headlines throughout the day to appease the woke crowd on Twitter, lest they appear to be helping Orange Man bad in his actual efforts to actually stop this virus. But the simple fact of the matter is that this attempt by the Democrats to exploit the crisis to their globalist left-wing advantage really has blown up in their faces, could very well cost them control of the House in November. Here's the problem for the Democrats in a nutshell. It's a problem that I think that the nation's left-wing governors have figured out, like Gavin Newsom in California or Andrew Cuomo in New York. It's a problem that globalist left-wing leaders like Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron in Europe have increasingly figured out. The single biggest casualty of this virus pandemic is leftist globalism itself. I mean, you have to get that. The single biggest casualty of this virus pandemic is leftist globalism itself. Article after article after article is being written each and every day detailing the myriad of ways in which the old globalist world order has virtually collapsed. It's imploded in the midst of this virus. This is why you have leaders like Justin Trudeau, soy boy in Canada, who have had to largely table their globalist evangelism and implement fully nationalist populist measures like border closings and travel bans. Again, what we have to understand is all of this is that the coronavirus is reinforcing political trends that were already highly potent before the crisis broke out. Trends like the demands for border security, economic protectionism, bringing manufacturing and production back home, ending foreign wars, and yes, reasserting our national customs, culture, and traditions over and against those who want to destroy everything from our past and continuously assault dominant ethno-cultural traditions. Now that we're all home, now that we're rediscovering family and faith and local community, those traditions are more important than ever before. So that being said, we can see how the Democrats, in actually exploiting this crisis to push for more liberalism, for more foreign workers, for more immigration, for more assaults on your traditions, are literally destroying themselves. They're committing political suicide. They're showing themselves to be completely at odds with the spirit of the times, as it were. The spirit of the times wants more nationalism, not more globalism. It wants more manufacturing at home, not more impeding and stifling regulations. And it wants our nation to be thought of as a home and a laboratory, not a laboratory for social engineering. And perhaps most importantly, the spirit of the times wants political cooperation, not cheap, bitter partisan rancor. This is what's made Trump's quite amicable relationship with the Democratic governors of California and New York really, frankly, so refreshing to see. But it's also what it makes the Congressional Democrats' latest stunt look so pathetically petty and, frankly, dangerous. The American people want nothing of what the Democrats are offering, either in terms of the blackmailing conditions of the stimulus bill or their shameful political posturing. And those same Americans appear to be increasingly ready to punish the Democrats severely come November. Now, before you go, make sure to check out my latest video on open borders Angela Merkel having to be put in isolation because of a foreign virus. Talk about irony of ironies. I think it's going to make your day. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.